huge sinkhole in elderly couple's backyard led to amazing discovery about their house. It all happened one fine day when a mysterious giant hole appeared in their backyard. It came out of nowhere just overnight. Amazingly, the McKays got to know about it from their neighbors when they knocked on their door. But why did that happen? How did this hole appear? The elderly couple had never imagined that they would have to experience such an odd thing right in front of their home. You see, there was an amazing story behind it. Lynn recalls, 9 o'clock, I got a knock on the door and it's the chap from next door. It was hard for the woman to believe in the nonsense her neighbor was talking about. She immediately called her husband and rushed outside to see it with her own eyes. Ray McKay and Lynn were scared out of their wits and curious at the same time. Their backyard was all plain yesterday, and today there was a giant hole in it. What's more, it was filled with water. The couple feared their home would also fall into it, if not taken care of in time. So they immediately reached out to the authorities. When the authorities appeared on the scene, they had no answers to what had happened as well. However, they had to lead into action. So the couple was advised to move to a hotel for a while. The authorities had taken charge, but still no concrete solution seemed to be in sight. The news went viral. Everybody in the locality, in the country, knew about the massive hole in the McKays' backyard. While the only burning question was, how did this hole come about? Well, it looked like a sinkhole. However, the sinkhole itself wasn't the reason for rumoring. The main question was, what was under it? The ground continued to sink, and soon the authorities discovered the cause. Dr. Anthony Lynn, Minister for the Mind, stated, "We suspect that what's happened is an artificial cap was put on the hole and there's a big body of water that's been under that hole for quite some time. When the cap sunk, the water came up, and that's the initial assessment," concluded Anthony. The elderly couple had no idea their house was hiding something. When they'd been told there was a coal mining shaft beneath the backyard, the two were sincerely baffled. It seemed like the shaft was built in the early 1900s, and the ground started falling down because of its collapse. At that point, the McKays realized why the streets they were living in were called Coal Road. The lane had many coal shafts out there in the earlier times, and now it looked like one of them happened to be under their house. The authorities were sure the shaft was beneath the backyard, but were still hesitant about whether it was under the house. Thus, they didn't want to take any risks and make hasty decisions. That's why the couple had to displace themselves to somewhere else for a time. For the McKays, it was a heart-rending decision, as the elderly couple had been staying in the house since 1991 and had grown attached to it. However, they had no other choice. Meanwhile, the sinkhole was growing larger day by day. In a week, it had gone up to 20 feet wide and 30 feet deep. One of the neighbors, Ken Morton, explained, "I think it's grown another 2 meters all around since I last saw it yesterday. I don't believe it'll grow any bigger than it is now. It has been quite a shocking spectacle so far." Soon, the miners came to take stock of the situation and even helped the couple to take out the water from the home. The mines people are outside surveying the situation. "Looking at that, and everyone's around. I don't know who's here and who's not," said Lynn. "They're bringing in pumps and things now, so I don't know what's going to happen." The couple was unaware of what was happening to their house. In a while, the mayor discovered some facts about the shaft. It appeared that one shaft was actually built in the same area, but was at least 40 meters away from the sinkhole. However, nobody was sure about the information they had found due to the scarcity of record-keeping in the early 1900s, let alone dug sometime between 1903 and 1920. It was a challenging time for the McKays, but they had the support of all their neighborhood. Paul Bissisoli, Ipswich mayor, had breakfast with them. I had breakfast with him this morning, and they're in good spirits. And we just have to make sure the impact of this hole doesn't impact their mental health, the mayor said. Lynn's biggest asset and worry was the hill's closed hoist, and that is going to be protected. "The suburb has nothing to worry about. Everything's safe. The McKays have just drawn a short straw. I'm just pleased it wasn't under their house." The family was waiting for the investigation results before starting the large-scale investigation. Officers separated the house from the rest by fencing it in from all sides. They had to work really fast as the elderly couple couldn't move back into their home until their research was completed. Everyone understood it was a profound and rude shock for Ray and Lynn. They were old and needed to live peacefully in their house instead of withstanding all that hustle and bustle. The team started by pulling the water out of the pool. After that, they had to fill a truck with dirt taken from the hole. While the workers were working at their fastest, the McKays missed their home a lot. They haven't told us if it'll get any bigger, just that they want to pump the water out and fill it with gravel. It could be weeks before it's back to normal. We haven't really been given a time frame, the woman added. Luckily, in a month, the hole was filled and the McKays were allowed to move back to their sweet home. The couple was over the moon and soon started redecorating their backyard. They were not alone in their struggles to come over their past. All the citizens were there to support them.